You absolutely can do glamour magic with La Santísima Muerte as a Santa Muerte devotee, etc. The the cult of Santa Muerte, the Catholic devotees will argue against this to their dying breath, and given the version of her that they are devoted to, they would be right in their own right. However, esoteric understanding of symbology, of death, the womb, liminal space, the crossroads, and primordial energy, particularly that which is of the feminine, insists upon the ability to be able to do this work. The very fact that she is a feminine spirit, or a goddess, or whatever you regard her to be at her core, beyond any kind of like dogmatic framework, the very fact that she is feminine means that it is inherently built within her symbology. What do I mean by that? I mean the scythe itself represents transformation, cutting away of that which is stagnating us, transitioning of one version of life, one version of self to another, cutting out the parts of ourselves and our lives which don't serve a higher purpose. The scales representing justice, balance, not just for us as individuals, but balance of the universe, the harmony of the universe, which is not always beautiful to us at the time, right? It can be quite destructive, terrifying, even, and painful. But it also forces us to measure what we have gained from enduring not only where we were wronged, but the process of it being made right. The owl at her feet being that symbolizing message from the divine, wisdom, intuition, beyond the veil, all that which is symbolized through the moon, through a feminine scope. The world in her hands, representing not only her holding the world in her own hands and the life and all of that, but the stage on which this all plays out. And even the fact that many times her statues come pregnant, right? So this is all really can be related back to pregnancy, creation, bringing forth life through the womb wisdom, the chakras that go along with that, and the energy of the cycle of death, life, rebirth. Okay, this is all inherently feminine. Even certain colors of her robes, right? We have the traditional red robe from the three original colors: fiery passion and action and fierce love, sexuality. We also have like pink, purple, silver, right? These robes represent specifically very feminine attributes, both in like the traditional sense of like a nurturing sense of like compassion, and the metaphysical, esoteric, spiritual sense of, again, that moon energy, that intuition, that great mystery, which is often communicated through feminine symbols. So when we understand the true feminine without like getting stuck on labels, right, that get assigned from patriarchy, like things like within the trad wife scope and gender roles and such, or the like feminine rage, dark mother, femme fatale, when we understand feminine energy as a whole, through esotericism, then we understand that the primordial feminine, which La Santa Muerte represents, is complete. It is whole. It is able to hold the paradox of all of these things existing simultaneously, effortlessly, just like your uterus. So fully understanding these concepts, and just merely understanding them, forces them to begin to take hold in your life, to begin to manifest within your life. And eventually it comes to a point where you're a bit compelled to begin to embody them and work with them. And one of the most familiar ways for women to do that, one of the most ancient ways for us to do that, is through self-adornment and glamour magic, right? So archetypal embodiment of that which we, in the physical, of that which we understand in the metaphysical. So what do I mean by that? I mean, you begin to realize that red lipstick is not just fashion. It is not just a bold lip choice. It's not even just a sexual in nature, resistant politically. Like, it is all of these things, but it is so much more than that. It's the color of blood, life, of empowerment, passion, devotion, sovereignty, right? We begin to choose perfume, even, not just because we like the way that it smells, but because it represents something. So a very, very popular comment, almost everybody loves the smell of vanilla, right? When we understand vanilla, where it comes from, that it's ancient, that it's been cultivated, harvested, used, for thousands and thousands of years, we understand the power that comes with using vanilla mindfully in an esoteric way. Right? I also understand that vanilla is not just associated with the feminine and sort of compels men to breathe us in, but it is also associated with that which is the virgin, right? Virginal, maidenhood, young femininity. When we understand pre-Christian context of what a virgin is, it wasn't just someone, it was not someone who was sexually pure and untouched. It was someone, it was a woman who was not married. A virgin was someone sovereign, someone who was fully autonomous, who was not of a household or a husband, right? So when we really begin to understand these things and how they were uh, twisted by patriarchy, we begin to reclaim them and we begin to embody feminine empowerment, sovereignty, right? Everything that Santa Muerte teaches us as female devotees. So when you devote yourself to a spirit, a goddess, a saint, whatever you think of her as at her core, who enjoys perfumes, chocolate, flowers, music, dance, tequila, wine, right? Cutting loose, standing fully as herself and being worshipped for it, then we understand that we as women, how that manifests within our life, not just with how we live our life, but how we are made love to, how a lover might adore us. We start to make better choices with regards to what we will and won't accept from a lover and a partner, because we begin to embody that essence of wholeness and empowerment and sovereignty within ourselves. And the easiest way to do that, once we start to understand these concepts, is to mix up our fucking makeup routine. All right, throw some sigils on some stuff and chant some things that we use every day. Begin to think about them differently. That's the most basic form of glamour magic and archetypal embodiment. So yes, you can do glamour magic with Santa Muerte. You just need to make sure that you're connecting the brain, the heart, the mind, the soul with knowledge and understanding and applying it correctly. This is not only a routine and a ritual that many of us do anyway, that we just need to make a little bit more spiritual, so that it becomes a spiritual hygiene practice, but it's an act of devotion to La Santísima as a physical representation of her through our own essence, through our own practice. It is a powerful form of metaphysical reclamation of what it means to be woman. Okay, this is so much deeper than pretty things and pretty smells. Perspective really is everything in this instance.